Christine Nanteza, and I'm going to take you through a session on topic selection. This is a continuation of our course unit of research methods or methodology. So topic selection is chapter 2. We had a lecture on an introductory lecture about research, but now we are diving deeper into it, and now I want us to discuss topic selection. How do you choose a problem, a topic, when conducting research or when you start to write your research proposal? So in this discussion, we are going to examine the cyclical nature of the development of a research proposal. We'll also describe the principles underlying whether a problem situation is researchable. We will also list the criteria for selecting a research topic. Then lastly, we might identify and select a health problem for research based on specific guidelines. So let's move into the introduction. We are saying that a research proposal is a very important step in health project development. And the key stages in writing a health project or conducting a health project is: 1, identification of the problem. After identifying that problem, you will proceed to formulate a research proposal. If you're lucky and the research you are conducting can accrue some form of funding, after the research proposal, you have to proceed and get approval for funding. Then after getting that approval, you would go ahead and implement and carry out an evaluation. Okay? So a research proposal comprises all the preparatory steps into a structured document. Why is a research proposal important? A research proposal provides a rationale and methodology for research. Rationale, I mean the reason why you are doing this research, and methodology is the how. How are you exactly going to conduct that research? Secondly, the research proposal serves as a blueprint during implementation. As you implement your research, you will always refer to your proposal while implementing. So the proposal serves as a blueprint. Thirdly, it acts as a basis for approval and funding. That we have talked about, that if you are applying for funding for your research, after writing the proposal at that stage, that's when you submit, and then they vet you to see if you eligible, you have suited all that is required to do the research, and you will get the funding. So without a well-structured proposal, a research project may lack direction or even fail to get any form of funding. So I wanted us to discuss the cyclical nature of research proposal development, and in this, I am saying that research proposal writing is not always linear. No one starts to write research from introduction, they go to background, from section per section. It is writing a back and forth through the different sections. So researchers often revise and refine their proposals before finalization. The most common adjustments when writing your proposal is basically in the areas of problem statement. The more you read different papers, the more you consult different articles, you keep refining your problem statement. Another area of adjustment is the methodology. We said that methodology is how you propose to conduct your research or implement it. So the more you read, you will discover that there are ways you can better do your research. So you keep improving the methodology section of your proposal. Then addressing feedback from your reviewers. When you are doing research, if you are a student, you will have a supervisor. If you are not, you will still have someone who will be guiding your research. So when you take the research proposal, you will discover that they will advise you to improve certain section. They will bring more ideas. So you will find that you will keep refining the proposal. So a flexible approach ensures a high quality and well-structured proposal. So key questions to consider before writing a proposal. Before writing a proposal, you want to ask yourself, does the research focus on a priority health problem? It would be of importance to research on a topic which is of a priority concern. Okay, could be from the government perspective. It could be from your organizational perspective. In whatever capacity. Secondly, you want to ask yourself, was the problem identified by relevant health groups? Has the problem been analyzed from multiple perspectives? Here we want to understand, is information available regarding the topic you want to research on? Is the problem statement clear and well defined? Your problem should be as clear as possible so that you don't meander here and there. So answering this question ensures a strong foundation for your research proposal. So I want us to move forward and discuss problem identification. So I want us to understand that not all problems require research. So when does a problem require research? A problem needs research if there is a difference between what is and what should be, or if the reasons for this difference are unclear, or if there are multiple possible answers to the question. So if a problem has a clear and definite answer, research may not be necessary. Here I am giving us an example of an unresearchable problem that District Y has 500 children who started immunization. By year end, only 25, which is 5%, completed vaccination. So the problem we have is, why did only 5% of children complete vaccination? The definite answer is only 2 of 13 health centers were open due to insecurity. Now, here we can conclude and say that for this problem, we do not need research since the reason is already known. So if you land on a problem and you're interested in it, but as you read around it, you find that answers have already been are present. So that means that that one doesn't qualify to be researched. An example of a researchable problem, this District Z has a population of 150,000 and all 18 health centers are functioning. But when it comes to expanded program on immunization coverage, only 25% was covered, yet the expected was at least 80%. So the problem question is, what factors influence low EP coverage? And the possible answers is possibly mothers may face barriers to attending EP sessions, or that there is poor integration of health programs, or that there is ineffective follow-up for defaulting children. So conclusion, this research is required to identify the actual cause. So key takeaway from this is this, that a problem is researchable if there is a discrepancy between what is and what should be, if the cause of the problem is unclear, or if there are multiple possible explanations that require investigation. So if the answer is obvious, that means research is unnecessary. So, moving forward, I want us to discuss the criteria for prioritizing problems for research. Why are we talking about prioritization? We are prioritizing because, one, not every problem requires research, but two, you might have multiple research ideas. So that means that you need to prioritize and agree on which problem to address. Thirdly, the selection process could be involving more than one stakeholders. So that way you might need to prioritize. So, criteria for selecting a research topic. We have a criteria one can follow to choose a research topic. If you have more than one topic, you can have a criteria you can use so that you can end up with one. So, one consideration is relevance. And in relevance, we have key questions. How big is the problem? Who is affected? How severe is it? Those questions should be clear. And when you are ranking, so you will be reading these questions and be ranking them against a scale. So if you have more than one problem, you want to see which problem you want to scale them on a scale of, say, 1 to 3. Which of them has the big problem? Which of them has the most affected individuals? How severe is it? You rank them. Then we have a criteria to avoid duplication. You want to ask yourself, has this topic already been studied? If so, are there unanswered questions? Okay. The third criteria you want to use is feasibility. You want to ask yourselves that are resources available, especially if you are a student. Do you have the time to do this, to attempt to do this problem? Do you have the money? Okay, some research needs money. As a student or as any other researcher, do you have the funds necessary to carry out this research? And do you have the personnel? You might also want to ask yourself, can national support be accessed if needed? Okay. So, moving forward with the criteria, you want also to consider political acceptability. Does the topic have government or authority support? It might be, do you well to not to go and attempt questions which are confronting the authority. You know, you will have problems in acquiring such data for that kind of research. Okay, applicability of results. You might want to consider a topic where once you get the findings, they could be applied. So you want to ask yourself, can the study's recommendation be implemented? And are resources available to act on the findings? Okay. So then also you want to see the urgency of the data needed. How soon is the information required for decision making? If you're in an organization and you need to carry out some research, but you need to get answers really quick, then you might want to know how are you going to do this research? Okay, so based on how fast that data is required. Ethical acceptability. This is very important when you are carrying out research. Could the research harm participants? You want to ask yourself that. Are there any ethical concerns that I need to consider? And if they are there, how do I plan to address them? So basically, that is how you want to, that's our criteria we use. Like you see here, we have a scoring system. So you bring your problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, and then rate them on these 7 elements that we have discussed. You rate them on relevance, avoidance of duplication, feasibility, political acceptability, acceptability, applicability, urgency, and then you score them. The one with the highest score is the one you end up using for your research. So, key takeaways: prioritize research topic based on the criteria we have talked about. Then avoid duplication. Review past studies first and see that you're not actually duplicating. You must consider ethics. Your research should not harm people. Then from there you want to apply a rating system to compare multiple topics objectively. So I have attached a question which you can try out, and you can get it from the upload. But basically, that is what I wanted to share when it comes to topic selection. Very short but very vital information. So please watch again, acclimatize yourself with what we have discussed, and you could ably implement and know how to consider a research problem. Thank you very much for being a part of this discussion. Until next time, God bless.